Hello, you guys. Welcome to Convicted Hearts. And if you have a convicted heart, you are in the right place. Once again, I am here with the beautiful, the talented, the lovely Monica from Washington State. Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing good, thank you.
Good. Thank you so much for being here with me again. Your part one, everybody really was so inspired by your story. They have a lot of questions and really are very welcoming to you and your family.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
Appreciate you. So since we last talked, has anything changed or everything about the same with you? It's going good?
Yeah, everything's good, just gotta get packages going for my brother and my husband.
Yes, it's that time, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
that
got a phone
time.
call. I got a phone call the other day from my brother, like, hey, can you follow up on that package? Let me see where it's at.
Yeah. So I'm
Yeah,
like my mom and my sister, they helped me get the money together for my brother's package. And then I
okay.
just take care of my husband's.
That's good. That's what's up. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I have a couple viewer questions. I wanted to jump right in and then like you and I'll just chop it up. But let me see. The first one, let me see. And I figured we'd get this one, but it's from a subscriber named Ben. And he wants to know if you're able to elaborate, can you say what charge your brother had that he was charged with such a severe sentence?
Um,
And you can answer at your own
originally,
discretion. Yeah.
originally when he received the 75 years, if I can remember, like I'm not going off of paperwork, he was charged with conspiracy to murder in the first degree,
Okay.
and he was charged with gun charges
Mhm.
and also the RICO Act because it was
Yeah.
like gang related.
Okay.
So originally that's what he was charged with,
Mhm.
but he wasn't there at the time of the crime. He wasn't even around the area. He wasn't in the vehicle, or he didn't hold a gun or anything like that. So when they charged him, they charged all of the guys together.
Mm.
They didn't only charge him, they charged, I think they had, let me see, they had one, two, three, four other co-defendants, including my husband. So my husband was one of the other
Right.
four. So in the whole case, there was five. And that's what they charged my brother with. But the only way that they can link him to him having to do anything with it other than hearsay, because basically, the guys that actually committed the crime, they said that my brother was involved.
Right.
The only reason why they could even like charge him or bring him into court is because he had gang tattoos.
Got it.
Yeah, so he had gang related tattoos and he was known to be a part of that gang. And so that's why they were able to charge him with the RICO Act, and it stuck in court. And then the jury was the one that pled him guilty at the end of the trial, because my brother took it to trial.
Okay, got it, got it.
Mhm.
That makes sense to me because here in California, it's a lot the same. Every time somebody is involved in an incident, or even the first time, they take pictures of their tattoos, and law enforcement does, I guess, and keeps track of that. So yeah, it's considered like an enhancement then.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
even though he wasn't there, he didn't have anything to do with anything, but because he had gang tattoos, he was allegedly a part of the gang,
Right.
and he was allegedly knew about what was going on, but he didn't know the victim. He
Hmm.
didn't know what was going to happen. He didn't know that anybody was going to get hurt. But
Right.
because he was a part of the game, and allegedly it was something that was planned,
Mhm.
premeditated. That's why. And because he had gang tattoos, and the guys that actually committed the crime told on him, saying that, testified against him, saying that he was a part of it, that he was a part of the plan. The
Yeah.
gang tattoos were the only link that
Damn.
could get him charged.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes complete sense. That I've heard
And
that similar situation. Go ahead.
yeah, and the reason why my they couldn't charge my husband was because my husband is not Mexican, he's Samoan. And
Oh,
because he's Samoan and he doesn't have gang tattoos because he can't be a part of a Mexican gang, you know, that's
okay.
that's racial. And so that's why they couldn't charge him like that,
Okay.
even though the guy stated that he was a part of it as well. But they both, him and my brother, were not a part of it. Both him and my brother had nothing to do with it. But the investigators, they wanted to bring in as much people as they possibly could to charge them. The only thing that they could get my husband with was with what was it? He was charged with it was I
I'm sure
forgot.
it's like, yeah, but I'm
It'll
sure
come
that,
back. It'll
yeah,
come
yeah,
to me.
it will. That's interesting because I know, I mean, it's nice to be able to exchange information because California and Washington, even though we're so close, there's some differences in our system. So I know,
Yeah.
I don't know if he's someone, but I know a guy who is, I think he's Tongan, and he
Oh.
runs a certain, I would say, let me just say Northern Hispanic Association. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I don't know that he was ever charged with any enhancements involved in that. But is it racial or religious, or how does that work in Washington State as far as being someone? Is it like how do
Um,
they differentiate?
well, with the Samoan culture, they usually get tribal tattoos. They don't really get, I mean, if they do get gang related tattoos, it's not Sureño tattoos.
Right.
It's
Okay.
nothing like that. It's something that they create with their like Uso gang or
Got
brotherhood.
it. Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
but my husband grew up with Mexicans up here. So
Mhm.
that's like he was close to all of the people that my brother surrounded himself around, which, my uncle was involved with them too, because my uncle grew up here too. It was like something that my uncle created coming up here from LA,
Oh,
you
wow.
know.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like it's
Yeah. So
ridiculous.
if your
Yeah.
uncle came up from LA, then I'm sure he's one of the originators of that for sure.
Yeah,
I hear
exactly.
you.
And then yeah, and so him and my uncle knows my husband, and and then they basically all grew up together. My husband, he looks Mexican, so you would think that he
Yeah.
was, so
Okay, got it, got it. Now, the next question is from Becky G, and she says, how do you overcome negativity and haters from
Ooh.
others when being involved with somebody, either your brother or your husband who is incarcerated? I'm sure you got a lot to say on this. I
So
know.
man, that's like
It's a
really
loaded question, right?
I still get a lot of negativity from that. I don't let it get to me. I just everybody has their own opinion, and I feel like everybody does something. Everybody's guilty of doing something, no matter what you say or how you are, whatever. Like you've done something, you just haven't got caught for it. you
Facts.
know
Mhm.
when it comes to my husband brother, I know they're not really criminals. I know them. I know my brother. I know what he's done. I know what he's capable of doing. I know what he wouldn't do. So when it came down to what he was charged with, he wasn't. I feel like they didn't do their job like they were supposed to, and they failed my brother. The justice system failed my brother and my husband. So anybody looking from the outside in wouldn't understand that they lived my shoes. So all I basically do is I'm like, you know what? I pray that nothing like this ever happens to you or your family member.
That part.
I pray blessings upon your life that you don't ever have to go through this, because the day that you do, you're going to reap everything that you're talking right now, because
Right.
this
Yes.
is something they ruined our lives, and
Yeah.
it's like, a person out looking in, they don't understand unless it happens to them. And
Yeah.
they don't care, they're just opening their mouths,
Yeah. That's
unless it actually happens. And
right.
so I just
That's
ignore it, or if it really gets to me, I'll cuss them out and then I'll block them.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Hey, there's
Mhm.
always that block option, you know?
Yeah, because it's
Oh.
like I'm grown. I can't be cussing everybody out. But I have, it's been times that I've gone off and, been real disrespectful. But it's like I'm 30 years old. I can't be doing that,
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
just
but
block them.
we're human. We're human, you know. I
Mhm.
remember when I first started doing my channel, a few people that were familiar with my brother's story felt the need to hop on and tell me, I was disgusting for forgiving and loving a murderer, convicted murderer, and I deserved the same as he did, And I had
Oh,
to really reevaluate how I felt about other people's opinions. And at the end of the day, I don't lay down next to them at night to go to sleep, and they don't pay my bills,
yeah. Hold on, girl. I'm so sorry. I
Of
think my
course,
husband
of
forgot that.
course, always.
Sorry,
Yeah.
thank you, baby.
Hello?
Baby,
Hi,
Ba-
Princess. What you doing?
I'm doing the YouTube thing. Remember?
Oh, shit. What time you want me to call you back?
Can you call me back in like 30 minutes?
I love you, baby.
Okay, love you.
All right,
Okay, love you. Bye, bye, bye.
bye.
Okay, bye. Sorry.
No worries. Hey,
He
that's
always
what's
calls
up.
me all the time, and then he
You know
forgot.
what? That's also very important in honesty for people to see, like, this is our real life, and
Yeah,
the fact that he's calling you and telling you he loves you and he's supporting you, like, that's what makes it real, and people can understand that we are a family no matter what. So that's part
yeah,
of my mission, is showing people like this is our family.
yeah. And I have to answer because if I don't, he'll
course.
freak out.
He's gonna worry.
He'll think bad. He's human,
Yeah.
and he's not
I mean,
home.
right? Can you blame them? They're not
Yeah.
here. So I get it. I get it. Let me see.
Yeah,
There's another
I'm sorry
question.
about what happened with your brother though. Like, and then for people talking to you like that, like that's so disrespectful.
It is.
I can
It
feel
is.
you because with me, not only my brother, they're coming after, but they're coming after my husband, and then they try to come after like me as a woman, or
Yeah.
like they try to come after my image, or they're like, oh, you must be what do they say? You must not value yourself, or you must be self-conscious. It's like, really, like you have to go there with me because
Right.
I choose to be loyal,
Exactly.
because I
And one
choose
thing,
loyalty.
yes, one
Like
thing
you
I can
want,
say is I know, I mean, you were with your husband beforehand anyways, right?
Mhm,
Like, so it's not like you were just, I know a lot of prison wives or girlfriends get a bad rap, but you've been with this man since before he even was there.
mhm,
But I've seen that sort of hatred on different platforms. And I always find it very disrespectful that people interject their opinion like that. And
mhm,
I feel like it would be really hurtful to hear.
mhm.
Yeah. But this next question is actually kind of falls in line with that. And this is from Anissa Martinez. And she's asking you, how do you stay positive on days that you feel lonely or you are missing your hubby? My hubby was just sentenced to 22 years last week, and I feel very empty inside.
Oof,
Yeah.
girl. Oof. I
know.
felt that in my spine.
Yeah.
I remember when first of all, my my brother was sentenced to 75 years. So I felt like I wanted to die. Like I just wanted to off myself, because that's my baby brother. And then my husband gets 15 years, and I'm just like, I'm left alone, and they were my support system. They helped me with everything. My brother was a mechanic. He did I never had to change the oil in my car. I never had to do none of that. My brother did all. He would just be like, picking up your car, and I'm changing the oil. I'm like, okay, he would just come drop off his car, take my car to go take care of what needs to be done. And then I would take his car to work or wherever. And it's like, once that happened, it's just like, it was over. Like, it was like my whole life how I was set up. It just became just relying on me. Even my family, they relied on me for everything after that. Not my brother anymore, or my husband. And so really, to be honest with you,
Mhm.
And I know it's going to sound cheesy, and I know it's going to sound like what, but I prayed. I would get on my knees and I would pray and I would cry and I would beg God. And I was mad at God for a while because I didn't understand why this was happening. And I was scared because I was like, who's going to protect me? Like, who's going to be there for me? Who's going to help me with these kids? You know, who's going to guide me? Because I felt like those are the men in my life and my family. You know, those are the only men. I don't have a father to look towards. You know, my brother and my husband were the men that I would look up to, that were my protection.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like now they're gone and everybody else is like, and then we're all women in my family, you know?
Okay.
And so it was like, I was mad for a while, like, God, but I that's all I knew how to do, because what else was I going to do? I can't just give up. I have 2 kids. I have my mom, you know, I have my sisters, you know, I couldn't just give up. I had to do something. And I would just pray, and every time I felt messed up, I would pray and I would give it to God, and I would cry myself to sleep, and I would just beg God to take the pain away and to help me through this, because I didn't understand what was going on. I felt like maybe he didn't love me, like he forgot about me, or
Yeah.
you know, like I wasn't enough. You know,
Right.
it was really hard. But as time went by, and then I started noticing God's work in my life and the miracles that he would bestow upon my life, I knew that there was a purpose for this, you know? And then my brother and my husband are not the same men that went in 10 years ago. You know, they're totally different men, and, you know, they think differently. They're more mature. They're more, they think twice about what they're doing. They don't hang out with, like, they don't talk to nobody that they used to talk to in the past. Like, I used to tell my brother, like, I don't like this guy. Don't ever bring him to my house. Like, me and my brother used to argue about dudes that he used to try to bring around. You know, me and my husband used to argue because I didn't want him hanging out with my brother, you know, because of what my brother, you know, my brother was hanging out with the wrong crowd. And I'd be like, no, I don't want you hanging out with your brother. I don't want you hanging out with your cousins, because his cousins were also into stuff that was not okay. And it's like, now my husband's like, I don't want nothing to do with nobody. And he doesn't talk to nobody. He doesn't talk to his cousins. He doesn't talk to, I mean, he talks to my brother, of course, but all the people that he used to talk to, he don't talk to nobody no more. My brother doesn't either.
That's such a, like, everything you said right there, I can relate to so much of it. Starting out with, let me just start from what you first said. I'm the only female basically in my side of the family. So losing my brother and my dad at the same time, because my father was my brother's victim. Those were the 2 men that took care of everything, you know? And I think in our culture, that's something that is very common. And it was shocking to me to have to pull it together, which sounds like is exactly what you went through, you know, and you took it even further and furthered your education to even help your brother in ways that I can't even imagine. I wish I could have had the strength to put myself through schooling. And like, you're such an inspiration to me and so many other, not even just females, but family members. I think not enough family members of our incarcerated loved ones speak out because we're shamed and we're silenced. And just trying to hold my mom together alone. That was actually one of my personal questions for you, is how did you maintain or stay afloat, keeping your mom or sisters or whatever your surrounding family was from completely dissolving, you know?
Well, to be honest with you, my mom's one of the strongest women I've ever met in my life. I've never met a woman more stronger than my mother. Like, she surprises me with her strength. And I've never in my life have I ever, like me, I feel weak next to her because she is so strong. And I know this because, like, in August, you know, unfortunately I lost my older brother, which he lived in Mexico. And he actually has lived in Mexico ever since I was like 18. No. I was 12. No. Yeah, I was 18. I was 18. He got deported.
Okay.
And so my inspiration for going to school was not only to help my brother that was incarcerated, but also to help him come back over here, you know. But he was married, he did his own life, you know, but we've always been very close, you know. I've always looked for him for guidance. He was like my father, you know. He practically raised me because my mother worked all of our lives taking care of us, and we barely got to see her because she worked so much, you know. But when my brother passed in August, and I was there when my mom received that call, I've never seen my mom break down like she did, you know. I didn't see her break down when my brother got his bid, because she said, that's not real. Like, that's not really what's gonna happen. My son's gonna come home. And so she didn't take it, you know. She wouldn't take it in. She's like, no, I'm not gonna accept that, you know. And with my brother, she had to accept that, you know. And so when I seen her, when she took that in and she broke down the way she did, and then at that same time, she seen me breaking down, and she picked herself up and she told me, it's okay, he's fine, and I know that he's happy now. And so it's like, to me, I'm just like, wow, you know, like I couldn't believe how she was. And I feel like that has a lot to do with how I am, or how I went about things. And, you know, it was basically her, you know.
Yeah.
But I feel like, but she relies on me a lot because, you know, like I said, she's from Mexico. She doesn't really, she's a smart woman. She has everything, you know. Like certain things when it comes to, you know, contracts, you know, certain things I have to help her with, you know.
Yeah, there's just a difference there. The two of you, I feel like, are just invincible together, you and your mom. Then you definitely are a force to be reckoned with, and I commend both of you. I see where you get your strength from.
Yeah, I think it's from her, because like I said, when that happened to my brothers, like I broke down. I was all messed up, but my mom was just like, stop, don't do that. That's not, you know, that's not real. You're breaking down for no reason. That's not real. Your brother's not going to be in there like that, and this and that. And I'm like, what?
Yes, even right there in her own words, she spoke it out loud, like, and I feel like that's so important. She claimed that that's not real. He will not do that time. You know what I mean? And then you stepped in and you took the steps it took to get your brother that 55 years back. Hey, that's you guys and God right there. That's a beautiful thing. The next part I wanted to mention is you saying that your brother and husband have really basically seen, how would I say, they've seen the reality of life, and they have seen there's certain people they just shouldn't be associated with, and their family is first, you know. And like you say, they've changed their priorities for the better, it seems like. Would you say that you feel that from them on their part as well?
Oh, 100%. I feel like the reason why is because I've been the only one there for them, and our family has been. And since my brother got so much time, and he's seen everything that we've done for him, everything that we've sacrificed to make sure that he's okay, he's like, wow, you know. And then he also sees on the inside that these other guys, they don't have any family. They don't have nobody there for him. They don't have support. They don't have nobody, you know, and they're looking for someone. They want somebody to be there for them.
Right.
And so I feel like they're like, no, they know what's really important in life now, you know. Unlike before, you know, my mom would tell my brother, stop doing that. Stop hanging out with them guys. Esos muchachos are no good for you, and this and that. Right. And my brother would make jokes about it. He'd be like, oh, don't worry, mom. You know, you're going to be just fine. I'm going to make you rich. You know, the cargo's coming in on a helicopter in a second. Don't even worry about it. You know, like, he's making jokes. But like now he's like, and then my mom would tell him, now she'll be on the phone. She'll be like, where's the cargo? What happened to the cargo?
You gotta love moms, right? That's right.
And so I feel like them going through that, and like
Yeah.
it really just like knocked some sense into them. And I'm like, I'm just glad it was time that they're serving and not them actually being gone, that somebody killed them or somebody, hurt them or somebody, because they're, like a lot of people die horribly, and
You're right.
I'm just glad that that didn't happen. Like they still have a second chance.
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely. I feel like there's a bigger lesson behind, so many of our stories and our loved ones. And it seems like your loved ones are really taking this time to make their lives for the better and for their families. And that's part of why this mission is so important for me, to show how the overall effect of incarceration affects the family unit, whether it be a sister, a wife, a mother. It severely affects us, and your family, it is fortunate to have you and your mom and God, first of all, centered in
Yeah.
their lives, and they're making the best of it. And I just really appreciate that, because it's encouraging to people like myself and so many other subscribers that were so fascinated with your story.
Thank you. I do want to say one more thing also.
Mhm.
It's like, while your incarcerated loved one is in there, it's really important that you mold them, because they obviously didn't make the right choices to be where they're at, even if they're guilty or not guilty. They
Okay.
still did something wrong that caused them that placebo effect, like that effect,
Yes.
And so, with that being said, whenever my husband or my brother would get little ideas in their head, like that things were going on in the prison, and they'd be like, "Oh, what do you think about?" No, shut it down. Like, shut it down. If it has nothing to do with him having a 9 to 5, him having a good, something good, stable, something that he's gonna receive blessings, like
Yes.
something good out of it, no, don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be a part of that, because then you're enabling them. Then you're telling them it's okay for you to do this, but because it's not. You're not making them you're not molding them into the men that they're supposed to be, So you have to yourself choose who you want to be, first of all, what
Mhm.
you're going to want for your life, and then make sure that you bestow that upon them and let them know, this is who I am, this is who I want to be, and this is how I want my life to be. And either you're with it or you're not, and if you're not with it, you're going to have to do your thing on your own, and I'm going to be in my own lane. Either you join me in my lane or you go on your own lane by yourself,
Yeah.
because prison will give you a lot of options, a lot of avenues
Hmm.
to do bad stuff, to do
Yeah.
stupid stuff. This is come on, it's a hole with a whole bunch of guys in it. What do you think that they're thinking, And so it's like, I really had to go hard on them, on both of them.
Yeah.
There were times that I didn't answer my phone. I was like, you know what, you're blocked until you get your mind together and you get things straight. Then I'll answer my phone. Other than that, you're blocked, and I'm not giving you nothing. I'm not sending you nothing. I'm not talking to you until you get it together. And then they'll be like,
Okay.
"Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's
So
like,
that, how do they call that? That type of love, hard love, you know what I mean?
tough
Like
love. Yeah.
tough love. There you go. Hey,
Mhm.
that's what's up, because I it's rare to hear someone speak these facts, and it's
Mhm.
important for people to hear, because it sounds like they've had to come to the reality of, yes, they are where they're at, but that's
Mhm.
not real life once they come home.
Mhm.
So it sounds like they're learning to make those type of decisions, and honestly, that's just going to set them up for the better when they do come home to you.
Yes,
You know,
definitely.
I
Definitely. And you
respect
can
that.
do it, like, don't feel bad for them, because sometimes we sit here and we feel bad for them and we're like, oh, it's because he's sad or because he's going. No, he's a grown man. He needs to get it together and he needs to make the correct choices,
Yeah,
because when he comes out here, these people, the police, they're not playing with them.
right.
The minute they pull him over, they're gonna put something on him and they're sending him right back to jail.
Girl, you were speaking facts.
They're not
Yeah,
playing. There's
no,
going to be a straight radar, a red flag over their heads for years when they come home,
yeah,
you know?
You're
So
right.
it's like, we're not doing none of that. You're not kicking it. You're not doing none of that. And I told my brother and my husband since day one, the minute you try to do something like that, I'm done. I'm walking away,
So
because
you,
you're
yeah,
not going to put me through the hell again.
no. So
You
you
know?
set that boundary. Yeah, you set that
Since
boundary
the
and you let them know.
beginning.
Okay.
Since the beginning, 11 years ago, when all this started, I told them, you know, and then at first when we were going through the trial, I thought they were just going to let him go, because I'm like, there's nothing, they don't have anything on them. So I told them since the beginning, I'm like, you guys better get your stuff together. I'm not playing. Like, I'm done with you guys. If you don't, like, I'm not messing with you guys. And if you end up going to prison, I don't call me, don't ask me for nothing. You know, and they were like, oh, no. And so, it really took a lot for them to like get it, you know,
Yeah,
mentally,
yeah.
but they did. But because I don't put up with none of it. Like, it's like, you got to live a straight life. You got to choose a straight life. If you can't choose a straight life, that's all you're going to see,
Right.
you know?
And that's why you being the woman that you are has set them up to succeed once they're done with their time.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I hope so.
no, I really feel it. Like when you were talking, I was getting chills, you know. This is what people need to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Even for myself, like this is what I need to be saying, that I have some of what I have not said already. So
Yeah.
I thank you again, you know, for sharing with us, and you're just amazing, Monica.
Well, thank you.
Always
Oh, you're so
hold a
sweet. You're
special
amazing
place
too.
in my heart
I
for
love
you.
how you do this. Like, this is, you know, because I would never just get on a platform and share my story with anybody. Like, this is this is sensitive stuff, you know, and
of course,
and you get a lot of negative feedback, but I feel like with your support and you guiding me through it, it's like I can take some hits, you know.
hey, you can take a lot. I can tell. Like you're tough, and I respect it. I would I'm going to talk to you off air, but I would highly encourage you to continue spreading your message and your word on your own platform as well, because you're blessed with a strength that not many people have.
Thank you.
With that said, we're going to sign out for now, guys. Monica always has an open door on Convicted Hearts. I consider her one of my OG Convicted Hearts, as a matter of fact. So much love and blessings to you, to your hubby, your brother, your entire family, you know, sending you guys a ton of love and blessings. And I thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank
Thank
God
you
bless
everyone
you.
for the questions.
Yes, yes. See you guys. Okay. Talk to you soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Hey, baby, what's up?